Welcome to my first video based on my book, The Angelic Realm Before, Now and After. It's fully copyright and I'll be doing about 50 of these videos, and hopefully that I'll be able to give you some insights and benefits going forward into the future. And the first one I'm doing, it's very important. I call it Synchronicity, and it's about how the universe works in cycles. And the cycle we're going in through now is a very difficult one and will become very difficult, partly because of this fella here that's behind me. You've probably seen pictures of Nibiru as just a full planet, but this is the real Nibiru. This Nibiru had an impact with another planet out in the Milky Way called Tiamat, and everything that was on Nibiru went backwards. Tiamat was destroyed because this is an iron planet, and the tail now follows for billions of miles behind Nibiru, which also is about 5 times the size of our Earth. The Hopi Indians actually sighted this 3,600 years ago, and that's how long the cycle takes. It comes around past Earth every 3,600 years with 3 other planets and a burnout sun called Nemesis. And they do pass through our solar system, all 5 of them. Now, Nibiru, unfortunately, this cycle we will end up passing through this tail. This has happened before when the dinosaurs become extinct and all the meteorites crash to Earth, but this will be different, and I'll explain why later on. But that's all part of the synchronicity. We had an extinction event about 7,200 years ago, and it was the Lemurians. And you may have heard of the Sumerian tablets and the writings that they've done. A lot of archaeologists have found these. They do exist, and they talk about the time that they had and how they knew astronomical cycles, and they spoke about how it's going to come back again in the future. It came back again 3,600 years ago, and the earth changes it caused made Atlantis sink into the ocean. Now, it's come back again. We are going to have earth changes. Like I said, we have to pass through its tail, but we'll be assisted in that respect. So that's something that I'll talk about more in the future. What I really want to talk about before we get there is, in 3 months' time we're going to have the 100-year anniversary of the great stock market crash and depression of 1926. It was a really bad time, and it remained that way for a considerable amount of time before the economy's picked up again. This time it's going to be even worse, because we may be having the earth changes on top of the bursting of the biggest bubble that we've ever had. Like, if most people don't remember the tulip bubble, where tulips got to some ridiculous price like $100 on the share market exchange until that bubble burst. Well, this time it's happened with Bitcoin. Bitcoin went over $100 and it's down to 60, but it'll fully collapse around October. When it does, you also got the trillions of dollars worth of debt that's in the US. Now, the US is partly responsible for all this Bitcoin stuff. You got the Trump coin, and Donald Trump's made a good fortune out of his fantasy coin. And it was so obvious that people even invested in something called a dodgy coin. So all this is going to come to a head, and the feasting that went on with the Bitcoin is going to come to a sudden demise, and it will be worth nothing. And we'll never see it again. It will be go into the annals of history as being our biggest bubble. Now, my advice to you is, if you like investing in shares, take your money out and sit it in cash. If I'm wrong, you can always come back and reinvest in November. If I'm right, you'll be grateful and you'll have working capital to go on, which is more than what I can say for a lot of economies in the United States of America. If you remember, in the crash of 1932, people committed suicide. They were jumping off buildings. Look, this is going to be much the same. It's people are insuring a lot of stocks and businesses, and they've short. You know, if they've sold shorts, they're going to be ruined. And people that are investing in the market, their superannuation is going to plummet by probably 70%. Shares will drop about 90%. The US dollar will drop down to about 5 or 10 cents in the dollar, because that's compounded with their trillions of dollars of debt. The war in Iraq is quite a big smoke screen, but it's probably necessary because we couldn't have those people having nuclear weapons. So it was a catch-22 there, but this hasn't helped America's debt, even though wars sometimes are good for debt. I don't think that's the case this time, because there's too much debt. So we've touched on a few things. I'm going to do about 50 of these videos. Now, I plan to do one every month. There'll be 2 more before October, and if there's no stock market crash that am anticipating, that will be my last video, because I'll go away and I'll retire and I won't be seen again. But in the meantime, I want you to be cautious, stay safe. I have some music videos there. If you enjoy music, please give it a like and have a listen, and try and stay healthy and not stress too much about what's coming. So this is Peter. I'm the author of the Angelic Realm Before, Now and After. I have a full copyright, and I'll be discussing this and a lot of stories in there in about 50 short episodes like this one. So thank you very much. God bless and have a wonderful night.